Well, hey, good evening. Welcome back to my little gardening show. I wanted to share with you tonight kind of what I've been studying this weekend, and that's the Mittleider gardening approach. About a year and a half ago, I got a hold of the course materials. After watching a bunch of YouTube videos and just kind of curious about the method, but didn't really have an opportunity or didn't make time to really study things out. I just kind of perused the articles and whatnot. And there's some interesting things, but for the most part, just kind of stuck with what I was doing, which was more the back to Eden gardening approach, where you're using, cover mulches and things like that, and not tilling to build the soil. And the whole idea behind that approach is to take advantage of the soil food web, build the soil, increase the microbial activity, and kind of partner with the microorganisms in the soil to break down organic material into inorganic components, or plant available components, so that when you plant things in the soil, there's the nutrients are there available to the roots and whatnot. Um, the system works. It takes a little while, at least 3 years to really get going on that, and then every year it gets better. and But you have to put stuff in. And the mantra is, you feed the soil feeds the plants feed you. So that's kind of what I've been doing up to this point. But now I want to try something a little different. Now I'm starting a new plot at the house, and I had an opportunity really to get the cover mulches and the natural inputs that I normally do, or what I had at the other place where I used to live. And part of that's just the timing of things. My dad just closed on the house not too long ago, and there's just not been an opportunity to get a lot of cover on that ground to start building the soil there. So decided I was going to take a look at this coursework, and watched a lot of videos on it. Just kind of looked into it, and it seems like it's a proven approach. In fact, if you're into processes, if you're a real process oriented individual, I think you're really going to enjoy the coursework or be impressed. It's well laid out, well thought out, everything's measured. And the idea basically is, if you follow the process, you follow the method, the steps, you're going to have consistently good results. Are you going to build the soil? No, not really, because the premise of this whole thing is that the soil, it just provides like 5 basic things. It's basically anchorage for the it's a vehicle for the plant, basically. Um, you're supplying the nutrients that otherwise would be obtained through the soil food web, through the microorganisms. So in a way, you're I guess you're taking a shortcut, or you're going at it from a different angle. And it seems to work. I mean, basically, there's 16 essential minerals that are, key or essential for plant growth. If one of those are missing, then your plants aren't going to do well. So at least that's what's been kind of proven out in this method. The method originates with this guy named Jacob Mittleider, who back in the 60s, earlier than that, he was a commercial plant grower, grew flowers, some vegetables. Real smart guy. Had patents on different flowers. But then he had a life-changing experience or whatnot, and made a vow basically to spend the rest of his life helping other people grow food. And so that's what he did. He spent, I think, the next 47 years helping people solve their hunger issues and whatnot, going to developing countries. He was actually commissioned by an organization, I think, out in California to go and assist third world countries with their food systems and help them develop a systematic way to grow food that was nutritious and that could be grown in almost any condition. So he developed this method. And really it comes down to, planting, preparing the soil, and then providing a pre-plant mix and then a weekly feed that has all these essential minerals. So the plants have everything that they absolutely need to grow. And had, fantastic results. So as far as I can tell, the inputs seem to be natural, or it's not like putting Roundup on the soil or anything like that. Is it, like putting wood chips or leaf mulch, or like truly organic in that sense? Well, no, but from what I can tell, it seems like it's going to be a safe method. I'm not putting poisons in the soil, so it's worth a try. So I'm going to show you just kind of the course materials here. Basically, if you order the digital version, this is what you'll get in the mail. And they may have updated it. Maybe it's some more books, some manuals, but a year and a half ago, this is what 10 books, 9 manuals. Excuse me. Got your subjects there. It's all on CDs. So what I did was I loaded it onto the computer. You can save all the documents that are on this thing. And then basically I moved them all to my Google Drive, so that way if I get a new computer or I'm on a different device, I'll always have access to it. I went ahead and printed out the actual gardening course, and it's laid out really well. The first third of the course is devoted to soil-based beds. If you're growing in just regular soil, and it's a step-by-step process. You plan, prepare, plant, water, fertilize, weed, and harvest. The next third of the course is all about grow boxes, and it's basically the same topics, but it's tailored to this approach, which is using like a soilless grow mix, like sand and sawdust, perlite. And then the last third of the book is the advanced topics like vertical gardening, automatic watering, fertilizers, things of that nature, troubleshooting problems you might run into with your plants. And in the very end is an appendix that has all your required forms, your planning forms, reference tables, etc., etc. So, just a ton of information, pretty well illustrated. So, I don't know, overall I'm pretty impressed. I'm a visual, kind of hands-on guy. I like kind of working with things. So, though it was nice to have it in a PDF format, it's nicer still to actually have it in my hand and be able to flip through it. So yeah, that's what I spent the weekend doing, just kind of putting that together and then kind of reading through the chapters and whatnot. So that's kind of the game plan this year. We're gonna prove this method and see if it does indeed work. I'm anticipating it's going to. If I follow the process, follow the plan, and then we'll kind of go from there. And in long term, maybe have a hybrid approach where we can, build the soil over time, not do the tilling, figure out a way to do these grow beds without tilling and using the cover mulches and things, but still use the weekly feed and the pre-plant mix and whatnot, and see how it goes. So I don't know. Maybe some of you guys out there have tried this method, or maybe you're thinking about it, or maybe you've read something that I haven't on it. Feel free to leave your comments or share your thoughts on it. But for me, the issue is growing food. Though I want to build the soil long term, I want to grow food more. And that sounds kind of ignorant in a way, because if you do build the soil, eventually you are going to be able to grow some really good food. But in the immediate future, the goal is to provide enough for not just my family, but my dad and my in-laws. So this seemed like a really good proven approach. So we're going to prove it this year and see just what we can do. So I guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.